All right. Hey, everybody. Ooh, yeah. Just got back to the hotel after watching the series between FlyQuest and Team Liquid at the YouTube Arena here in Los Angeles. It's been an amazing weekend up until about an hour and a half ago. It took me a little while to get back over to the hotel and get everything set up to record this video. But yeah, it's been an amazing weekend up until real recently. I'm just going to categorize how I'm feeling right now about some things, and then sign off on this one because I got a lot to do. Um, Disappointed as a TL fan that TL kind of lost the series in that way. That ending is both exhilarating and heartbreaking. I would have loved to have seen TL be able to walk away with what is likely going to be the final LCS victory or finals championship, I think ever, just because of everything that's going to be happening next year and the high likelihood that the LCS is going to be completely rebranding into something else. But they didn't. FlyQuest played really, really well today. All of the work that Papa Smithy and his support team and all the players, all the stuff that they've done, paid off today. They deserve the championship win. Yes, it's disappointing as a TL fan to see it happen that way, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's something that they earned. They deserve it. Um, Massive respect to them for playing as hard as they did. Massive respect to them for coming in with a game plan and executing on it. They really took it to TL today. TL I think just are going to be disappointed on that for a number of reasons. Obviously, they didn't play the way that they normally do. It wasn't really their best performance. They definitely got caught into a lot of the stuff that that FlyQuest was doing. Not indicative of the way that they play. Again, not their best performance. I think they're going to be disappointed in that, knowing that they could have done better. And then obviously, the way that it ended was super heartbreaking. As a fan, it was crazy going from this 0 to 100 to negative 10,000 thing where it's like, the game is about the game four is about to end. FlyQuest are pushing into the base. Then there's an amazing fight. It's a little bit scattered. They managed to kill all the FlyQuest. Then they're running up mid. They're trying to get all trying to get the Nexus towers down. And then that picture in picture thing that Riot does. They showed the super minions, and it's just you realize like as a Team Liquid fan, this ice cold, heart sinking feeling knowing that TL are not going to get back there in time to stop it, and that's going to be the end of the game. Like after you're thinking you're going to get game five, it just ends in that way. And it feels like there's not justice because it would have felt better if someone had, TP to the minions and ended it. If there was an actual player that ended the game, but you didn't even get that. It was, the super minions running into the Nexus and knocking it down. So little disappointing that way. But you can't say it wasn't a memorable end. And I think if that's going to be the final image of the final LCS championship, I'm okay with that. Disappointing as a TL fan, but you can't win them all. It would have been cool to have seen them put two back to back this year, and really secure themselves, as a great roster, as one of those all time great rosters. But it didn't happen. Um, but ultimately, that'll be a learning experience for them. And yeah, it's going to sting for a little while, but I think that they'll bounce back and they'll come back with and give TL fans plenty to look forward to. Especially once next year starts. And obviously the year's not over because they have Worlds, which is the other thing I want to hit briefly on. Um, even after the result today, Team Liquid's Worlds prospects really haven't changed all that much, other than just the way that seeding might work as far as the Swiss stage is concerned. Obviously, FlyQuest will have that number one seed. TL will be right there next to them, and then 100 Thieves will be starting off in the play-ins, which is, I think, for them really good. I think they'll probably be better served for it. They'll come into the Swiss stage hot. I think there's going to be no problems with them getting out of the Swiss stage or into the play-in stage at all. And I think this year's a really good year for North America to potentially win Worlds. There's a lot of things going in our favor. LPL, LCK, and Europe, they just don't look good right now. Europe looks like a dumpster fire. LCK and LPL just don't look strong. They haven't. Looked as strong this second half of the year like they normally do. There's a lot of questions about how motivated some of the players are, how good they're actually going to be. There's been talks about viewership drops in both of those regions and whether or not that's going to affect um, their perception coming into Worlds, and obviously whether or not they're actually as good as they've been traditionally. And obviously North America sending three really really good representatives. I don't think anybody's upset about who we're sending. Obviously TL and FlyQuest are great. 100 Thieves are really good too. I think a lot of people were surprised about them beating Cloud9. Personally, I wasn't. I thought it was cool. I kind of expected it. I think that Cloud9 had kind of been on the decline for a little while, and I think that they probably shouldn't have made it as far in the playoffs as they did. And 100 Thieves kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing this last week. So, yeah, excited to see how well all three of those teams do at Worlds. I'm really excited to see just the format and the patch and everything, and see how all those players adapt. And um, Steve said on the on Hotline League earlier today that both they and 100 Thieves will be boot camping at the Alienware facility there in Europe. And then Papa Smithy said that FlyQuest is not going to be joining them there. They'll go probably straight to Berlin. So I expect all those teams to be leaving here and going to Europe here very, very soon and start boot camping. And yeah, so it'll be exciting to see how well they do at Worlds this year. Only the final thought I want to share before I sign off on this one, other than just having shared like how soul crushing it is as a TL fan to see that series end that way, is the last thing I just want to mention is um, I hope that Cloud9 and Team Liquid and FlyQuest and 100 Thieves, I hope that none of those teams are thinking about leaving this next year. Obviously, we're going to be downsizing from 8 teams to 6 LCS teams, and then we'll have one LLA team and then one relegation spot for the tier 2 teams, which is going to be really exciting. But that's going to mean that there's going to be 10 players that are going to be looking for a home. And obviously with all the rebranding and everything that's going to happen, it's, probably not going to be called the LCS anymore. I think it's like a 99% certainty, even though Mark's not talking about it. I think 99% certainty that that's going to happen. So, um, I'm excited to see what that brings, but I'm hoping that we're going to keep these 4 teams at minimum, because I think they're really, really good. I think a lot of people are probably in the camp of they want to see Immortals leave because Immortals hasn't had a winning record since they joined the league, and then probably Shopify as well, just because they're so new to the game and people aren't really attached to that league or those players, anything like that. Like a lot of people are attached to NRG because it's still the remnants of CLG. And then I think really anything else is up for grabs, but really just those 4 core teams that I think people have been really attached to, I think is going to be important to keep them around. And I'm hoping that, especially after this year, that those teams are 100% going to be staying around. I know most of them will, but you never know what happens when this regional stuff, shakeup stuff happens. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. I don't really have much else to say. I'm really tired. It's been a long weekend. It's been a lot of fun. Massive respect to Mark and all the LCS staff that put on that event. I doubted the venue. I really did. I wasn't sure about it. I was a little bit more upset that initially that it wasn't going on a roadshow, but I got here and man, I have no problem eating humble pie. The event was phenomenal. All the teams being out there was great. Going all the booths, all the activities they had. Yeah, it was hot, but it was bearable. There was so much stuff to do, so many people to talk to. I got pictures with basically everybody I wanted to get a picture with. It was cool meeting players. It was cool hanging out with, seeing the commissioner. I didn't hang out with him. It was just Hotline League. But, seeing Mark, come out and talk to fans and stuff like that, being able to see the casters, being able to see Travis and do the Hotline League stuff. I mean, it was a blast. It was fantastic, and I hope that Riot sees this. And even if even if the economics of these events are sometimes in question, I hope that they see this and know that these events are super popular, and they need to try to do more of them wherever they possibly can. Because I think every fan that was here this weekend just had a phenomenal time, and I hope that they keep finding venues like this because. I mean, it was perfect for everything that we needed. There was some weird technical difficulty stuff that was going on, like some of the big monitors, the big screens kept going out during finals, and then also they need to. I think they need to do a little bit more QA testing with their audio setups before they do some of these events, just because the casters are barely audible over the game noise. Like it's really really hard to hear them. It's. I think that they should kick up that volume way way more so you can hear them over the game. But other and then. I mean, some finicky stuff like just seating arrangement stuff like that. Like, there's not tremendous amount of room between people, but this is all small stuff, and that's stuff that happens basically with every event. I mean, the audio thing is not super common. That sometimes they get it right and sometimes they don't. Because I've been to a lot of events. I've been to every event since 2018, and that audio thing is always kind of like hit or miss whether or not they nail it. So, but I think that's something that they need to get more consistent. But I mean, these are just technical gripes. Outside of that, like the whole thing the whole event this weekend was fantastic. Um, just from top to bottom, it was a top notch production by everybody. I mean, the venue was the perfect size for the amount of people that wanted to be there. It was loud, it was raucous. All the fans were really engaged, and a lot of reasons for people to be there today and have fun. So massive respect to the LCS for throwing another great event. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that they do more of these, especially whenever they get stuff settled for next year, however that looks. So. Well, folks, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to sign off. I'm really tired. It's been a hell of an emotional ride today for every fan, and yeah, if that's the final sign off for the LCS finals, then what a way to go. So until next time, I will see you guys later. And if you like what you saw, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to. If not, totally okay. just here to share thoughts as a LCS fan. So until next time, bye.